Happy New Year and welcome to your January 2022 horoscope. My name is Kaylin and today I'm going to be covering the major transits for the month ahead using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I strongly recommend that you watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun and moon sign, but having said that, I would start with your ascendant sign if you're only going to watch one today. Now, before I get into your reading, I just wanted to let you know that my 2022 yearly horoscopes are available for purchase. So you can purchase your individual horoscope using the link in the description box below. Once again, I would recommend that you watch for your ascendant, sun and moon sign, but if you're only going to purchase one, I would start with your ascendant sign. So these horoscopes are about an hour and a half in length, but you can also purchase the 12 pack, which is over 18 hours of footage. And now let's dive into your horoscope. Hi Libra, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your January 2022 horoscope. Before I get into your reading today, I just wanted to pull an animal spirit totem card to see what energies will be with you for the month ahead. We've got the hummingbird here. So this tells me that there's some sort of new inspiration which is basically making you want to create something, or there may have been someone that you met who really inspired you to look at changing jobs or trying out some kind of new talent or creative venture. Now, on the 19th of December, we saw Venus station retrograde in Capricorn in your 4th house. Now, I'm mentioning it in this horoscope because Venus will actually be retrograde for pretty much the whole of January. So this whole month will be characterized by you re-evaluating and revisiting some old memories pertaining to your childhood or your family dynamics, or you could even be revisiting a place that you used to live in or that you grew up in. Now, on the 29th of December, Jupiter re-entered the sign of Pisces, and it will actually be in Pisces in your 6th house until the 10th of May. So with Jupiter in your 6th house of work, this tells me that your workload is going to increase pretty dramatically for most of you. And even if you are not currently in the workforce, whether you're in between jobs, taking some leave, or maybe you have retired altogether, this indicates that there will just be a lot of things that you need to tend to in your day-to-day life. Now, Jupiter in the 6th house can see you expanding your business or hiring more employees if you are a business owner. Now, Jupiter here in your 6th house can indicate that you will experience more freedom in the workplace, or you will have more freedom in your work environment. Some of you may actually be traveling either interstate or internationally for work, and on a different level, this can just indicate that you are actually learning a lot in the current role that you are in. Now, the 6th house is connected to loans, and because Jupiter rules over your 3rd house, which represents contracts, and Jupiter represents money and wealth, this can actually see you taking out a pretty big loan, or you may actually be loaning money to another person. Now, if I was to guess as to who this would be, I would say a sibling, a friend, or a relative, or maybe even a co-worker. Now, the 6th house represents your health, and Jupiter can represent you experiencing some kind of healing or blessing with regard to your health. Now, on a different level, you may actually be attending counseling sessions, and this is because the 6th house represents counseling and Jupiter represents influential figures who are full of wisdom and who can give us some kind of life advice. So this individual may be helping you with regard to your work. They could be helping you deal with some kind of health ailment or health issue, and some of you may actually be receiving coaching with starting your own business or how to manage other people. Now, on the 2nd/3rd of January, depending where you live in the world, we will see a new supermoon take place at 12 degrees in Capricorn, and this will be in your 4th house. Now, this supermoon will actually be making a wide conjunction with your ruling planet Venus, which will be retrograde at 22 degrees Capricorn, and we're also going to have Pluto at 25 degrees Capricorn. Now, of course, we always need to look at what the ruler of the new moon or the full moon is doing. So we've got Saturn at 12 degrees Aquarius, which means that Saturn is making an exact semi-sextile to the new supermoon. And lastly, we are also going to have Mercury at 0 degrees in Aquarius. So Mercury and Saturn will both be in your 5th house. Now, new moons indicate a new beginning or a new chapter starting somewhere in our lives. So because this is occurring in your 4th house, and because this new supermoon involves your ruling planet Venus, this indicates to me that your living circumstances are going to change. So some of you may be moving in with your children, or your children may be moving in with you. And this is indicated by the fact that we have the ruler of the 5th house being in the 5th house and making an exact aspect to the new moon. Now, on a different level, Saturn in your 5th house represents that maybe some of you are moving in with a romantic partner, or perhaps your significant other is moving in with you. Something to bear in mind is that because this new supermoon is conjunct your ruling planet, this indicates to me that whatever is taking place with regard to your living circumstances or your property purchases, this is likely to be your decision because it's your ruling planet. And because Venus is retrograde, it indicates to me that maybe you have delayed a decision, so you've maybe put it off for a really long time, or some of you may be reneging on something that you thought that you were pretty set on. Now, with property, this can indicate that you are purchasing property. And I'm saying this because this new supermoon is conjunct Pluto, and Pluto rules over your 2nd house, which represents your finances. Now, some of you may actually be receiving a property. And by that, I mean inheriting a property, or maybe there is a property that is going to be transferred into your name. Having said that, a lease could also be transferred into your name. And with regard to receiving a property or inheriting a property, I'm saying this because Venus rules over your 8th house, which represents inheritances and mutual resources, and Pluto itself represents mutual resources as well. Now, some of you may actually be building a house or building a property, and you could actually be building it for your children, as represented by this semi-sextile to Saturn, or you could be buying on behalf of your children or contributing your resources or your finances to help them purchase a property. Now, lastly, this could actually indicate that you are signing contracts for a lease for an office space for work, or you could be buying an office space. And I'm saying that because this new moon obviously involves the moon. Moon rules over your 10th house, which is Cancer, and this would be doubly emphasized for any of you who are either Libra suns or who are Libra risings, and especially if your midheaven happens to be in Cancer as a Libra rising. But it's not all property and moving and relocating. On a different level, the 4th house represents your family life. So this could see a situation reversing or turning on its head somehow. And I'm saying this because Venus, which is your ruling planet, is retrograde, and Venus rules over your 8th house, and the 8th house is connected to sudden reversals and rapid change and transformation. So something very unexpected could occur with regard to your family life or your living circumstances. Now, lastly, with this new supermoon in your 4th house, this could be about you achieving total financial independence. And I'm saying this because in the sign of Capricorn, and with Venus being retrograde and ruling over your 8th house of mutual resources, all of these things together sort of spell out that you don't want to be dependent financially on other people. And wherever Pluto is in our chart and whatever house it rules over, this indicates where we have felt controlled by other people or where we have experienced our power being taken away. So with Pluto naturally ruling over the 2nd house in your chart, which is Scorpio, this indicates that you can feel like you've been controlled by money and that you really want to have power and control over your own finances and resources. So perhaps there's some sort of shifting of the power dynamics within your familial relationships, or at the very least, on a deep psychological level, this could be about you achieving financial independence, or at the very least, feeling like you are way more in control of yourself and of your own finances and resources, and certainly in control of where you live, what property you own, or whatever property you are leasing, and who is allowed into your space. So maybe you are just erecting some very solid boundaries about which visitors you are allowing into your home. Now, on the 14th of January, we are going to see Mercury station retrograde at 10 degrees in Aquarius in your 5th house. I actually love Mercury being retrograde in the 5th house because this can really dispel some kind of creative blockage that you may have been experiencing. And that is because the 5th house represents our creative talents and gifts, and Mercury represents our perspective. So if you have been trying to write a book, or if you've been trying to start some kind of series of paintings or drawings, or maybe if you had semi-started something and you had pushed the pause button on it, Mercury being retrograde can see you revisiting these creative projects and these artistic endeavors. Now, even if you're not necessarily creating music or artworks, this can actually just see you picking back up some kind of hobby that you used to enjoy, or maybe you are rejoining a sporting team, or maybe you're starting running again, or just doing something for the pure enjoyment of it that you haven't done in a very long time, or that you have felt like you haven't been able to participate in. Now, this can actually see you kicking a gambling habit. And I'm saying that because the 5th house is connected to gambling, and Mercury rules over your 12th house, which is Virgo, and the 12th house represents self-sabotaging behavior. Now, the 5th house represents owning our own business. So some of you may be making changes to the business that you own. Some of you may actually be reopening a business, or relaunching, or rebranding. And because Mercury rules over the 9th house in your chart, which is Gemini, you may actually look at introducing import and export as part of your business, or you may be taking this to an international market. Now, some of you may actually be finally wrapping up your business, and this would pertain to those of you who've been toying with this idea for a long time, or who have tried to close your business in the past, or maybe there was some kind of delay. So maybe you said that you were going to do it a few months ago and you're only just getting around to it now, and it's finally like a slam book shut moment. Now, lastly, the 5th house represents our love life, and it represents our children. So on the romantic front, this can see you hearing back from someone that you used to be involved with, romantically speaking, or you could actually be reaching out to them. Now, this could see you giving this relationship a second chance, or maybe it's sort of like this person is testing the waters and you finally get closure in this relationship. And for those of you who have been in an on and off again relationship, or who have been considering ending this relationship for a very long time, well, for those of you who are in the on and off relationship, this is like a make it or break it moment where you finally decide if you're in it for the long haul or if you want to call it quits. And for those of you who have been putting off ending this relationship for a very long time, or maybe if you feel like you've seen it coming for ages, it may just be that during this Mercury retrograde period, that is finally taking place. Now, on the children front, this can see you experiencing miscommunications with your children. This can see you reestablishing your relationship with a child if you have been out of contact with one another. And lastly, this can see you changing your mind about whether you want to start a family, have more children, or not have any more children. Now, on the 17th/18th of January, there is going to be a full moon in Cancer at 27 degrees in your 10th house. Now, this full moon will be in almost exact opposition with Pluto in your 4th house, and we're also going to have your ruling planet Venus being at 13 degrees in your 4th house in Capricorn. So this full moon can see you actually coming into the limelight for something that you have done within the workplace or in a professional capacity, or this could be to do with something that you have put out there yourself. So maybe you've got an online social media account, maybe you're in the public eye for some reason, and this can see you actually getting the credit that you deserve. And the reason I'm saying that is because Venus is retrograde. So this leads me to focus on the fact that this is some sort of delayed gratification. Now, this can see you receiving a promotion, this can see you resigning from a job or giving up one job to focus on pursuing your own business. And on a different level, this can see you retiring from the workforce altogether. Now, the 10th house also represents your boss. So perhaps your boss is resigning from their job, or they could be retiring from the workforce. Now, interestingly, the influence of Pluto and Venus in your 4th house is basically like leading you to have this big epiphany when it comes to your public self, what you're putting out to the world, what you want to be known for, what you want your reputation to say about you. And some of you could be having an epiphany about what you want to do professionally speaking, or with regard to your life goals. This certainly doesn't need to be only for those of you who are in the workforce. The 10th house represents our highest worldly achievements. And full moons, especially full moons in Cancer, being opposite Pluto no less, can basically see you reevaluating and reestablishing what your priorities and what your values are. And this is indicated by Pluto ruling over the 2nd house, and also Venus represents our values anyway. So this can see you basically having a huge breakthrough when it comes to what your life goals are and what you want to do for work, or how you want to be known in society. Now, lastly, this full moon in Cancer can essentially lead you to discovering how your personal life or how your family life and your family dynamics have held you back, either professionally or with regard to you pursuing what you want to do, either for your career or even for your life goals. Even if you're 70 or 80 years old and your parents are no longer around, this can still see you having some kind of huge aha moment where you're like, wow, I can't believe that my childhood or the way that I was raised led me to hold myself back in a way that impeded my ability to go out and chase after my dreams and goals. But just know that it is absolutely never too late. And I really want you to focus on the hummingbird here, because the hummingbird's wings can beat at, I don't know how many times per second, but essentially this shows that you can move in all different directions and that you are very agile, and that you are going to be hit with some kind of huge inspiration when it comes to what you want to do with your life going forward. Now, also on the 18th of January, we are going to see the North Node entering the sign of Taurus in your 8th house. And of course, the South Node is going to enter the sign of Scorpio in your 2nd house at the same time. So the North Node and the South Node will be in your 8th and 2nd houses respectively until July in 2023. And the last time that we saw the North Node and the South Node in Taurus and Scorpio was 19 years ago. So every time the North Node enters a new sign and a new house, it essentially brings some kind of materialization to that house, or some kind of physical new development to that house. So I've broken this down into a few different categories of how this can impact you. On one level, you may have a sudden interest in something to do with the occult or spirituality. Now, this could see you pursuing studies in these fields, especially because Taurus is a Venus-ruled sign. Obviously, you are the other Venus-ruled sign, and therefore this North Node in Taurus transit is going to impact you on a very personal level. On a different level, this can see you discovering some kind of new intuitive ability or psychic ability. And I said the same thing for the Gemini horoscope, and that is because both the 8th house and the 12th house are linked to the occult and spirituality and our intuitive gifts and our psychic gifts. Now, the North Node has this quality of being very insatiable, and it can get obsessed with things very quickly. So this can see you becoming quite obsessed when it comes to learning more about something to do with the occult, or maybe you're obsessed with learning about astrology. Something to note here is that I do believe that you will receive some kind of benefit from pursuing these studies and from perhaps having an astrology reading or a tarot reading or a numerology reading or something of a similar caliber. But having said that, the North Node in the 8th house can see you becoming quite addicted to basically having these kinds of services or receiving these kinds of services. So you may become quite addicted to your tarot cards, or you may become quite addicted to focusing on astrology to help you navigate your life. And I'm just going to, take a moment here to say, as Libras, you guys know better than everyone that moderation is key. It's all about keeping the scales in balance and not doing too much of one thing and too little of another thing. Now, the 8th house is connected to let's call it the spiritual hazing process. So you may feel like during this 18-month period that somehow you're getting the spiritual tap on the shoulder to be initiated into becoming an astrologer or a tarot reader or a Reiki healer or a numerologist. Or you could become a healer in some way, shape, or form. And this could be, looking at studying to become a surgeon or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. It certainly doesn't need to be of an occult variety. You could be a healer in a more traditional sense. Now, on a more material level, the 8th house represents mutual resources. So this could see your partner receiving a pretty big pay rise, or they could introduce a new stream of financial income, and this in turn bolsters your mutual resources together. And the same can be said for a business partner or for anyone that you have joint assets with or that you have combined your resources with. Now, this can see you investing in something new, or you may actually be combining your resources with another person for the first time. So maybe you are opening up a bank account with your significant other. Maybe you are going into business with another person for the first time. Now, lastly, the 8th house is connected to sex. So this could see you commencing a new sexual relationship, or your sex life may improve, or you may just be experimenting with different types of sex. So your sexual appetite could change quite radically. And again, the North Node, otherwise known as Rahu, can lead to addictions. So I would just warn you guys about sex addictions and, really going down the rabbit hole to the point where it's unhealthy. But, this is just a general reading, so take everything that I'm saying as it applies to you personally. Now, looking at the South Node entering the sign of Scorpio in your 2nd house, this can see you letting go of valuables or possessions or maybe items in your wardrobe that are quite emotionally charged and that you know or that you knew were not good for you to keep in the home. So maybe you've got like an item of jewelry or something that was given to you and you just haven't been able to bring yourself to release this item even though you no longer have a relationship with that person on a different level. Some of you may be overcoming issues that you have with smoking or with eating disorders or with disordered eating. And the 2nd house is connected to our values and our sense of self-worth. So if we're combining what we know about that and the South Node dissolving things, I see this as you guys letting go of a lot of pride, which has been holding you back from feeling like you can ask other people for help or feeling like you can combine your resources with other individuals. Now, lastly, the 2nd house as well as the 4th house is connected to family. So this can see you dissolving issues with your family, and this can see you feeling like you are absolved of some kind of familial guilt. And this could be to do with upholding certain family traditions which no longer serve you. Now, of course, this could see you having to let go of a certain financial stream of income, or you could be parting with a valuable or a possession that you really love and that you don't want to let go of. Obviously, it's two sides of the same coin here. On one hand, you may be letting go of items that you know no longer serve you. On the other hand, you may just have to part with these things and there may be some resistance to doing that. Now, on the 24th of January, Mars will enter the sign of Capricorn in your 4th house. Now, between the 24th and the 29th of January, we are going to have Mars exalted in Capricorn in your 4th house. Mercury will be retrograde in Capricorn in your 4th house. Well, it will be retrograde from the 25th until the 3rd of February. Now, we're also going to have Venus being retrograde in Capricorn in your 4th house until the 29th of January. So essentially between the 25th and the 29th, we have Mars, Mercury, and Venus here. And this is really going to be dredging up a lot of stuff when it comes to your family relationships and dynamics. Tensions may be running high with people that you live with or with your family. You may have miscommunications with your flatmates or with people that you live with or with your parents. And also with Mars being in the 4th house here, you just have to be careful of accidents in the home. So just make sure that you're turning off the oven and the cooktop. And of course, if you happen to have weapons in the home, please, please, please make sure that they are secure, especially from young children, because when we've got Mercury retrograde ruling over your 5th house and Mars and, also Venus, which represents your ruling planet in the 4th house, there can just be a big recipe for things going awry. So you just want to make sure that you are locking doors. You may actually be looking at installing security cameras or building a fence or creating boundaries. And these may be physical boundaries around the perimeter of your home, or you could just be creating emotional boundaries when it comes to you protecting your family or protecting your private sacred space within the home. And so Libra, that's all I have for you for January 2022. If you'd like to purchase your 2022 horoscope, I will leave a link in the description box for you below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead, and I will see you guys next time.